Some shows lean left, some lean right, but we lean local and business. This is North Georgia Business RadioX with Bo Henderson. For the next hour, we will celebrate the businesses in our area and the people that run them. Find us on Facebook at North Georgia Business RadioX and online at northgeorgiabusinessradiox.com. Now, here's Bo Henderson.
I don't know about you, but I'm ready for that time of year where the leaves start turning, get a little crisp in the air, and when it comes moving towards fall, it always makes me think of football.
Isn't that strange, since you were a 3-year defensive lineman at UGA?
There's something about it. The football, the again, it just makes me, it's my favorite time of year. Now, I'm just wondering, what do you have I know what your favorite college team is. You can go ahead and say that, but anything beyond that, beyond the University of Georgia?
I've never, well, of course, growing up in Mississippi, and I was in Mississippi as a kid when Ole Miss was the dominant team, not only in the Southeast, but one of the top teams in the nation as well. So I've been an Ole Miss fan for a long time, even though I'm from Mississippi. I didn't go to Ole Miss, didn't attend there, but if you were growing up during the Ole Miss heydays, that was your team, and you lived and died for Saturdays, just like people in Georgia do now for the Bulldogs, where you got your experience on the field.
So we're talking about football. We got the University of Georgia talking Ole Miss. Now we have Carl Libba back with us in the studio. Yeah. I'm Bo Henderson talking with Dr. Bill Lampton. And we have a guest today, Sean Wilborn with the Cloudland Wines. And I'm going to go ahead and bring Sean in. Welcome to North Georgia Business Radio X.
Thank you so much. So nice to be here.
So me and Bill were talking a little bit about fall and football. Sean, do you have a favorite football team?
Well, football in the form of soccer, probably, if that's the kind of football we're talking about. I'm a big
foosball.
Yes,
the football that you play with your feet.
Yeah, exactly, Carl. Exactly. Yeah. Big Atlanta United fan over here.
Okay.
But,
So that's not in the SEC, I'm taking. Okay.
No, it's played at that big Mercedes-Benz thing that we've got there downtown Atlanta.
What about you, Carl? So Atlanta United.
Yeah. So I'm with Sean on this. I'm a Manchester United fan, third generation. So from the cradle, I remember, my parents and grandparents talking about Manchester United, and I remember my son, who just turned 8 this last weekend, and you know how on social media pops up pictures of, you sent me one, Bo, and
your
him.
Memories.
Yeah, all the memories. Bo sent me one of him holding Charlie, and literally in the hospital room, I put a little Manchester United beanie on him and a little Manchester United. So he didn't even have a chance.
Brainwashed.
Yeah. From the beginning.
Well, I mean, I was thinking football Americano. All right, but I got it.
But I will agree with you. This time of year, the thing you're looking forward to, because I married into a UGA family, so we do the whole tailgate, and there's nothing like Athens in the fall. And really, just if you live in the South, anytime the humidity drops below 85, you're just happy to do anything.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, this is North Georgia Business Radio X, the voice of local business. So we've got our football stuff. We like to talk, life, football, sports, whatever. Well, let's talk a little bit about business, Carl. I know our local chamber, the Greater Hall Chamber of Commerce, they always have some good things going on. What do you see this week?
Well, actually, the big thing that they have coming up is their Fall 2021 Job Fair and Career Expo. So this is actually going to be on Thursday, September 9th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Gainesville Civic Center. So for job seekers, this annual community fair features 60-plus employer booths. And it's a great opportunity to learn about area companies that are hiring, and so be prepared to meet employers face-to-face and complete job applications, even on-site. The event is open to the public, and there's no admission fee for job seekers. Now, for you employers, I know we're in a market right now, post-COVID, where employers are looking for great qualified employees. The job fair is a great opportunity to recruit qualified employees. The annual event draws hundreds of job seekers. Booth space, however, is limited, but sponsorships are available. So for more information, you can contact Amanda Lewis at 770-532-6206 or alewis@ghcc.com.
So I don't want to hear any excuses that I can't find a job. I just know that's bull. I'm just going to be blunt.
Yeah. September 9th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Gainesville Civic Center. That's where you want to be.
And you're right, Carl. I've heard every year there are 500 to 600 applicants who show up.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's amazing to me, again, because I come from a country in which jobs are scarce. Even now, jobs are scarce. And to live in a place where we live now, where you see help wanted signs almost everywhere, you have something like the Chamber of Commerce that's doing this beautiful thing for both employers and employees to basically make speed dating available. So if you come on that date and you're ready to apply for a job, there's probably an employer that is waiting for you. And for employers, there are employees, if you're going, well, where are all the good employees? Well, the hungry ones are showing up at things like this because they are seeking a good culture and a good job.
Yeah, and there's a lot of it. This part breaks my heart. We'll have everywhere from my barber to a lot of our good friends in local restaurants that come on the show. I've had several examples where they're saying, I'm having to shut down a day every once in a while just to give the people that will show up and work a break. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping some things will change and pass, and we're actually incentivizing good behavior of people coming out, getting this community rolling, and filling these jobs that are out there.
Yeah, and you see these social media posts these days, and I know Sean's working in a space that's dealing with the public all the time, and I know that that's a privilege and an honor, but at the same time, I see social media posts now where people are putting signage on the front of doors where people are coming in, whether it's retail or food or even maybe a winery, going, hey, please be kind, we're the ones who chose to show up.
Right. Well, we're talking about Sean Wilborn with Cloudland Wines, and we'll get into that in a minute, but we're talking about this employee. What have you seen with employees? Hard to find good help, or
it's a constant. It's the one thing that has to be on drip constantly in your management team's thought process. You have to keep that pipeline going now, even more so. In the most recent time, how do you compete right now? You have to be so competitive as an employer and as a management team. You got to get creative, and sometimes monetary.
You mean to find the right employees and to get them on board?
Yes, sir. Yeah, and retain. Yeah,
but surely, Sean, you have an unfair competitive advantage because
yes,
I mean it's all the wine, right?
Yeah.
I mean, surely that's the way. I mean, my wife heard that you were going to be on the show today, and she's like, "That's one day I'll trade in for you. I'll come and talk to Sean about all the wine because we've been before and we love it." But surely, are there any of those perks that you've had to be creative about in this season?
Sure. I think the benefit that we have is, like you said, Carl, we've got that kind of cool factor. It's a fun industry to be in. It's interesting, and people feel what you're doing is interesting. So there's that intangible reward from that. But definitely, and we try to bring staff in that touch all aspects of the business. So you're in the vineyard one day, you're bottling another day, you're at the tasting room engaging guests about our wines.
So it's not monotonous.
It's not monotonous at all. And all of that keeps it interesting and engaging, and you're really getting a great a really well-rounded experience there when you work for a winery, and I always tell all of my staff, I've been in the industry now for almost 10 years. There's so many directions that you can take the wine industry, whether it be being a sommelier or working in distribution or working at a winery, and the multiple things that you could do in a winery, so it's a cool business. And I always said, so I was in real estate and finance prior to, and that's when I fell in love with wine, but
because those professions make you want to drink. I get it.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So that's when I was introduced to it, of course, and then watching the market nosedive in 08, 09, and all of us felt that impact. People in wine just cruising. When things are good, you need wine. When things are bad,
might even spike a little bit.
You need wine, yeah. So it's a good industry all around, yeah. So
in fact, during COVID, I've read that alcohol consumption definitely went up. For one thing, people were not at a job all day long.
Yeah.
You were having to drive. Right, so we're talking about not drinking and driving. We're talking about wine. We talked about our sports team. But I want to dig in with Sean Wilborn with Cloudland Wines. I'm Bo Henderson here with Dr. Bill Lampton, Carl Libba. We'll be right back with a whole lot more right here on the Voice of Local Business, North Georgia, Business Radio X. local business and wine. Believe it or not, that is a great combination that we're talking about today. I'm Bo Henderson here with Dr. Bill Lampton, Carl Liva, and our guest, Sean Wilborn with Cloudland Wines. And before we went to the break, we were just talking a little bit about the business, but I want to put that off for a minute. Everybody's excited about hearing about the wine, and I even want you to teach a little wine class, give us a little education here in a minute. But Sean, I just want to learn a little bit more about you. So give me a little background about you, where you come from, what got you to here.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I'm from Beaufort, Georgia.
Okay.
So
right up the road.
Yeah, right down the road. Born and raised. Moved away. Got into music and played music. Fumbled through college. I just wanted to play music.
Yeah. What did you play?
Guitar, mandolin, sang.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was my career path as well.
Really? Yeah. We used to play out in Athens and had a good time, and moved down to Florida just to say, okay, I gotta get going here.
Because that's what people do. They go, I gotta get serious.
Yes.
Let me move to Florida.
Let's go to the beach.
Yeah, exactly. Let me go to Daytona Beach and get serious right now. So went to college at Daytona State University, actually, and that's where I found wine. I got
a lot of people do.
Yeah, exactly. So I was in real estate, got into real estate during a really good time, and would buy our customers and clients a bottle of wine. I didn't know what I was buying, and it came one day. I was sipping on a glass of Chardonnay, and I just like, wow, this is everything that I've always loved in life. Since a kid, I loved gardening. I loved building things. Always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Did entrepreneurial things as a kid, even from a Christmas tree stand with Georgia pines by the road to lemonade and car washes. Just always wanted to be in business for myself. And looking into that glass of wine, it was like, there's music, there's business, there's this, but like, this is my passion. Mm-hmm. This is everything that I've always loved in life, boom, in one thing. And so I pushed down the idea of following that dream for years. I kept pushing it down. I after real estate took a hit in 08, 09, I got into finance and did finance for a while. All kept pushing down this idea. Academia for a little while, then finance, and just each time going, no, you can't go follow your dream. You can't follow your dream. Mm-hmm. And then finally I was in finance. I'm sitting there 2 years in going, what am I doing, man? What a great gift this mysterious thing is called life, And so at that moment, I'm just like, I'm going to leave it all. I don't care if I'm making $10 an hour. I'm going to learn this business. I'm going to do this and do it well. And then all the steps along the way are going to get me closer and closer to having my own business. And that was the plan. So I left it all, went to work at Chateau Alon, just whatever they would give me. Working in the vineyard at first, and then the owner at the time, he's like, you were in finance, director for large, or what are you doing down here? I need you upstairs helping me with the business side. So I kind of got into the business side of the winery, and that led to distribution and a lot of other things within Chateau Alon, but then Biltmore as well. And
that's Biltmore Estates in
Biltmore Estate in Asheville, North Carolina. And
nice spot.
Yeah, great spot, great company, wonderful. I'm talking, we could do a whole segment on how to run a family business with those guys. Just a really, really great group. But slept in my car 3 years as the director of winery operations of Biltmore Estate. The only way I could make that work is if I could just didn't rent a house and kept my house down here with my family, my beautiful family here. So I didn't tell anybody that. Now it's on radio. So, but
that's right.
That's very admirable.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to ask a question there, kind of peel back. So your family, is that immediate family, like kids? Like what are we talking about?
Wife and 2 boys.
Wow.
Yeah. And we were going to move to Asheville, but just too much going on down here and pulling the kids out, and that was a dream job, and it was a great opportunity. I wanted to go and contribute and obviously prove something to myself, but also too, I really wanted to go and learn, and build continue to build that network. all while I had planted my vineyard in 2015, and I left to Biltmore in 2015. So here I'm trying to manage this vineyard, commercial-sized vineyard, back and forth, driving to Asheville. Wow. And 4 or 5 nights in Asheville, and then a few nights back home. And
Well, wait, I got to interrupt you there. So there's something I think we need to stop and pull out that point. So I think a lot of people, in a lot of cases, and especially we talk about people, employees, but they see the result today. They say, oh, that's cool, that business Sean has.
Yeah.
Or it's cool what Bill and Carl's been able to do. And I can tell you with what I do today is that it might be nice now, but there was a lot of things that went into getting there. Man. So it's kind of a cool story that it wasn't just you had this great idea and it just worked out seamlessly.
Yeah.
And you probably wouldn't have learned the way you did, too, if it did.
Oh, man, yeah.
I was telling somebody yesterday, one of my favorite statements is, I became an overnight success after 20 years.
That's how it feels. That 10 years of building a vineyard, planning, the sacrifices, and the sacrifices. I mean, geez, it's amazing. But yeah, you're right, Bowden. People don't see that part. They don't see that part. So it is. Well,
I'm picturing winter nights in Asheville.
Yeah,
in your car.
Yeah,
my gosh, that's
no joke.
I've got a picture on my phone. It snowed 18 inches. It went to 18 degrees, and it was like 12 inches or something like that. And I got out of my car the next morning, and it was just caked on. And, of course, selfie moment right there. But believe it or not, the cold was more manageable than the heat.
I believe it.
Yeah, I could bundle up in the cold.
Can't get more naked in your car.
Yeah, so that was brutal. I found mountaintops on the summer nights for sure.
Yeah.
So.
All of a sudden, your wife's getting a phone call to bail you out because you're like, I couldn't be any more clothed in my car.
Yeah,
it's too hot, and you got taken to jail.
Promise, bro. I promise. It's just sleeping.
The other thing too, like Bo pulling out, when you're talking, especially people who are coming along the dream a couple of years after it started to, in your case, literally bear fruit. That's hard to understand, as well as the community aspect of that, because that's the reason I asked the question I asked. My job, whether it was as a musician or now somebody who helps run brands for other companies, there's a lot required of your family that they have to give up. Mm-hmm. Like your time gone, your time being back and forth. And I think what's beautiful about this is if the dream is large enough and they can catch that, it feels like you're all serving that dream. It's not like they're losing you because you're chasing something that's more valuable. Yeah. Is that something that you've experienced for your wife and kids?
Yeah, absolutely. And that was my hope too. There would be times when I would be in the vineyard. I had been at Biltmore for 5 days. I come home to a vineyard that's screaming, manage me. Or I'm going to get out of hand, So the 2 days I'd be home, sometimes I'd be out in the field, literally with my shoulders facing the house, looking in there going, there's my family inside. Mm-hmm. I've been gone for 5 days, and they're inside, and I'm out here so many times. And so that was going on in my head, but, my boys and Robin and, there was a big sacrifice there too. We did really well, and we fought really hard to make sure that we kept that family time rich and meaningful. But yeah, man, sacrifices all around, big time. Still,
We've got a great story on dedication today.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And one of the things, Sean, I want to get to, talking about everything that it took to get to where you are, is for those listening, let's get to what it's taken us half the show, but what is Cloudland Wines?
Yeah.
How do we get there? What do we do? And when we come back from the break, I want us to dig into what it is today. And then I'll just go ahead and let you know what I'm going to do later. I'm going to say, where do you think it's going down the road? Because I know I got a feeling you got a vision out there.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I'm Bo Henderson here with Dr. Bill Lampton, Carl Libba, our special guest, Sean Wilborn with Cloudland Wines. We'll be right back. You're listening to the voice of local business, North Georgia, Business RadioX. I don't know about you guys, but anytime I find a new place to go on date night with Tabitha, heck, I'll go with you guys. Date night with my guys. But so we're talking to Cloudland Wines
There
with
we go.
Sean Wilborn.
We promise Bo hasn't been sampling
That's right.
any
The samples are
Cloudland
for
wine.
after the show. That's right.
Or were they before the show?
Could be. But we've been talking with Sean, and Sean was sharing a lot of just the passion and the dream, and finally getting to the point to say, I'm going to chase the dream and what it took to get there. And I get the idea of things are better now, but let's just kind of tie that up in a bow.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's it. Like Carl was alluding to, that all of that sacrifice and being able to, although there were times away and all that time away, it's coming back double-fold now. You know, I'm home, I'm working in the field, right outside, and coming in and out all day long, to the point where I'm probably driving everybody crazy. I wish I'd go back to Asheville probably, but yeah, it's been really nice to see it all come to fruition.
So it's compulsory. They're back a part of it now.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're talking to Sean Wilborn with Cloudland Wines. I'm Bo Henderson here with Dr. Bill Lampton, Carl Lima, and we're just digging in a little more to something that came up for me. I was curious about. Was it a progression of I'm stacking a piece, or was there ever a moment where there's like a big break, like the property became available? Was there ever this nice here really moved you forward, or was it just?
Yeah, it was lots of layers. It was lots of long layers, just from establishing the vineyard. I always joke, if you don't have money, you better have time, and if you don't have time, you better have money. And I had no money, so I just took a long time,
Right.
you know, and just layered all those things on. And I think the final thing was the licensing, the state license, the municipal license, and the federal license. Once that, and the final piece was actually here in Hall County, and I'll say, this is a great place to do business. It really is. North Atlanta, with all the great attributes that we have, this is a great place to do it. But that was the final. Once that municipal license was finished, that's when it was like, oh my gosh, this is happening. This is real. You know, it's unreal.
I'm licensed to do business.
Yeah.
And so you brought that up. We are, and even though we have the Beaufort address, you're in Hall County.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
County address.
Yep.
Yeah, we're particularly blessed because Sean's place may be about 2 minutes from my house.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's why we're dropping into the tasting room pretty often.
You could walk home.
Yeah.
Sean, one of the things I was mentioning to you before we started the program was that my observation has been that at one point, maybe a couple of decades ago, the custom was everybody was having cocktails with dinner or before a meal or whatever. And now it seems to me that things are rolling in your favor because more people, in my impression and observation, more people are opting for wine instead. Is that a trend that you're aware of?
Yeah, absolutely. I think young people, more so than ever, are wading into wine and looking for experiences like winery experiences more than ever. I think social media helps with that a little bit too, and really pushing that younger crowd towards wine. So yeah, we're definitely seeing that a lot. Absolutely. And
Well, something as we're talking about that, and I think I want to get into that too a little bit about how we can make it more about than just going out and maybe having a glass of wine. There can be a lot more to it about learning about it and learning the grapes and all that. And I want you to talk about that. But I've got to ask Cloudland.
yeah.
Just a cool sounding name, or do you have there's a story behind it?
Yeah, Cloudland. So the site is so incredible where we are, and it's part of what locals around the Gainesville area would call the Gainesville Ridge. At a broader scale, it'd be known as the Blue Ridge Divide.
Okay.
And then even broader than that, it'd be known as the Eastern Continental Divide. And it literally is running right up 985, right up through here on the east side of, if you're going, northbound, it'd be on your right of 985. Basically, that ridge line is the center line of the Eastern Continental Divide, and that's exactly where, in fact, the center line runs right through our tasting room. And so the benefit that brings is the site is amazing for grape growing. It's amazing, and then so also being up on that ridge, you're at 1,300 feet, with the rest of the surrounding average elevation being around 900 to 1,000.
Wow.
So for us in Georgia, we're used to looking out our window and seeing trees. Up there, it's this rare occasion for us in our area to see more sky and clouds than trees. Cloudland, plus that's kind of where I live in my head most of the time. So I thought that was
Cloudland. I love that.
Yeah.
How many acres do you have?
We're about 10.5 acres right now, and we're looking to plant on all of that as a state vineyard, but we're also looking, and we can talk a little bit about this for our long-term goal, but we're definitely looking for more expansion from viticulture standpoint.
Now, one of the things I think is really interesting is how Georgia wine in general has exploded in the last decade.
Yes.
Because for us, I mean, my wife and I, for our 10-year anniversary, went out to Napa, enjoyed Sonoma and all those things, and we're really impressed. But I remember going out there, now living as like an East Coaster. You know, you'd go out to the West Coast, and they're really proud of what they're doing out there. And for me and my wife, we had, I mean, probably 7 years ago, had gone on a wine tour in North Georgia. So you go to Dahlonega, and you go, you know, even over to like Young Harris. And we had no idea that there were like, 10, 15 wineries out there doing what they were doing. And so I'd be curious from you, where do you see that kind of going? Because you guys now are like the next kind of natural progression of going, and I think especially for Atlanta folks is going, yeah, I would like to go to a winery, but Dahlonega is a really long way.
Yeah.
Buford's not a long way.
Yeah.
So I imagine you guys are running out of room pretty rapidly.
Yeah, no, it's been amazing. And the one, to find such a unique viticulture site, to find the grape for us in the Southeast that's going to do good on that, which is Lamonto. That's a whole nother segment, but it's a magical grape on a perfect viticulture site. Then you're free. Like, you're not tied to having to be in the North Georgia mountains. You can be an urban winery, and so we've found the perfect spot, not only from a viticulture standpoint, but from an accessibility standpoint. Atlanta's 30 minutes down the road, and it's not a day trip. It's not a full day where you've exhausted your entire weekend, or at least a full entire day. You could pop up to Cloudland for a couple hours and be back home and still cut the grass and do all the things that you need to do. But yeah, it's a great, very convenient location for the metro area, and easy to get to, right off of 985, right there on the Lake Lanier Islands Parkway exit right there.
And even for us, one of the things that we loved that we thought you guys had done so well is there's outdoor space, there's live music, like, just great singer-songwriter kind of background. The gig I used to do all the time to make money is go play it at wineries.
Yeah.
And then a tasting room. And like you said, because of its location, it's not even like a half-day trip. Catherine and I will use it as like an early date night.
Yeah.
We'll pop over there for, pre-dinner drinks.
Yeah.
Because it's just a beautiful spot to be, and the wine happens to also be excellent.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, that's kind of the prerequisite. The wine's got to be excellent.
We wouldn't come back if it wasn't worth drinking.
It's beautiful, but it's sour.
Yeah, and not just one or two. I want every single wine to be just absolutely an excellent expression of the variety, and really well done. And but experience also is where. That's the intangible. That's the difference maker. And so convenience is one, but, really, really good musical artists, up-and-coming music artists that are on their way, growing. We want to be the right venue for good music. But we want to be that pre-date night experience and create a really good experience. That's the wine's got to be good, but the experience is what that's our focus. That's what we're really trying.
You're speaking our language, right? Memorable experiences. So we come back. I want to talk a little bit more. I want to get into more detail about what can we, if I drive up on the property, what am I going to get?
Yeah.
So let's dig into that and dig into where you're going when we come back. I'm Bo Henderson here with Dr. Bill Lampton, Carl Libba. We've been talking to Sean Wilborn with Cloudland Wines. We'll be right back on North Georgia Business Radio X. When when we started talking about a winery, I was thinking, okay, we're going to be talking about somewhere up North Georgia, Dahlonega, some of these wineries that we've had great guests on the show share those, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about going a little further south at Cloudland Wines, and we're talking to Sean Wilborn. And Sean, before we went to the break, we were talking a lot about how you got here, what you're doing now, but I would love to hear, if somebody's listening, if I drive up to Cloudland, just paint the picture for me. What can I do? Why should I come?
Yeah, absolutely. Real easy to get to. We're right off of 985. Take a ride on Friendship Road, Lake Lanier Islands exit, and we're about 1,200 feet from the exit ramp right there on the right, kind of hidden behind some trees. And we wanted it to be this urban winery experience, but also once you got there, you forgot where you are. You feel like you're somewhere, far away, maybe North Georgia mountains. And also, it was really important that when you got there, that the architecture, even the landscaping, was all very native and real and in place, had a sense of place, so that the tone is set right away. Even when you pull in the parking lot, it's mulch, and the lines in the parking lot are darker colored mulch and grass, and just those little things
Details.
to just like really calm you down. Our staff is amazing. We got the nicest group of folks, and so wine has this veil of snobbery that shrouds it and makes it hard to wade into without your defense mechanisms up. And we want to just drop that veil around wine and make it an inviting, fun experience. So from the moment you pull in, it's inviting. You get in the door, nice folks, good wine. And a lot of people say, and this was our goal, is like, we want you to feel like you're in your own backyard or in your best friend's backyard with a cool fire pit. We've got 6 fire pits for this fall and winter, and people will hang out all through the winter around those fire pits. It's amazing. Yep. Huge roaring fires and good music, and we've got food trucks on Friday and Saturdays. And tasting. So you could come and do a tasting or a flight of all of the wines that we offer. You can do wines by the glass, by the bottle. We do some wine experiences. So if you want to dive a little bit deeper into the brand or into wine itself, there's some monthly or quarterly events that we do where we really dive deeper into some stuff. So, and we try to make it where you cater the experience that you're looking for rather than creating one thing and then you getting in line and us pushing you through it. We want you to opt in, raise your hand and say, that's more for me. Or no, you know what? We're just here to hang out with the girlfriends and talk amongst ourselves. We don't want to be bogged down with information right now. We just want to sip and enjoy. So those kind of things, lots of options for you to get into. And growing is our big thing. We're growing a lot of grapes and expanding our vineyards constantly, because what we found is that there is a need. There is a growing industry of wineries in the state of Georgia, and creating an authentic experience that's close by, a neighborhood kind of winery feel, makes a lot of sense. But also with that growing industry, there's not enough grapes to sustain the amount of production that's going on. And so we're farmers first. We really grow wine grapes. That was how we started. And we want to continue doing that in this very special region of Georgia, along that very special ridge, along with all these really awesome grapes that we're working with, but to the point where we're now a commercial grower supplying for all the other wineries, or at least, I
was going to ask about distribution, so it's going out.
Yeah, so, rather than bringing grapes from other states, we really want to do really awesome fruit that's unique to Georgia, unique to our region, very marketable, premium quality wines, but are Georgia, Right. And so rather than you having to go out of state to get your fruit, we want to kind of build that infrastructure for wineries as farmers to provide that fruit. So that's kind of long-term super long term, our goal, not super long term, but not immediate, but kind of like we were talking about layering the business over the years. That's kind of what we're doing now. We're just every year layering more and more on. I think our goal is about 60 acres under management. Right now we're about 10, so we got a little bit more to go.
And so what are the hours of the tasting room? You're saying we can come and do this. When would I be looking for that?
Yeah, so we're currently closed on Monday, Tuesday. So we open Wednesday, Thursday, 1 to 7. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 12 to 8. And a lot of folks, many wineries up in the mountains close around 5 or 6. We stay open a little later, but a lot of people go, man, why do y'all close so early? Like, we just want to keep hanging out. And it's like, well, one is really important. Talking about community, we want to be a good contribution to the community. And I always joke, like, nothing good happens after 8 o'clock. So
it's too late.
Yeah. So we want to be safe. We want to send home people safe, but also too, we're truly farming and starting early in the morning and out in the farm, and then staying until 9 or 10 o'clock.
You've had a lot of hours by then.
Yeah. So by 8 we're tired. A lot of us have been working all day in the vineyard. So yeah, we're tired. So
that is great. Yeah. Now, one of the things as we talk, go ahead and tell people saying, hey, that sounds like a great. I'm already planning on coming down.
Yeah.
I already text that we got a new date night.
Okay, good.
So how do they find out? Website, Facebook? What's the way to connect?
So our Facebook is under construction right now. Our construction. So we've got Facebook, Cloudland Vineyards and Winery, and then on Instagram at Cloudland Wines. Yep. And we are constantly putting information out on those two platforms about our live music, our food trucks, any wine releases, any events and things of that nature. You can stay abreast. I check all the emails, so if you have a question or anything, you can always reach out to us on one of those. Blessy, our general manager, or I will get back to you right away. And we're just doing all kinds of fun stuff. We're trying to do fun events, but we also have had folks do
yoga
on Saturday mornings. We're doing some good yoga. Bodies in Motion is a place where I was actually teaching a little bit of yoga and going and getting yoga. Yeah, right. Of course you were.
That's amazing.
And so the great business, and I wanted to promote them, and so we're doing yoga on Saturday mornings, and but also have Lindsay Lou. I don't know if you follow a lot of bluegrass and up and coming jam bands. Lindsay Lou's playing in October 16th. Levi Lowry.
I was about to say, I just saw his name on here.
Yeah.
Like, Levi and I have played Eddie's Attic together.
Awesome.
So the fact that you could go to a winery for free in the tasting room area, and because you're not charging admission to hear this music, right?
That was a free show.
That's amazing.
And Levi Lowry's awesome, man.
Yeah. I mean, he'll pack out a room at Red Clay here in Duluth, and that'll be $25-$35.
Yeah.
Come and hear him for free over at Cloudland. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Man.
So check out our lineup of music for August. Just another amazing month of great music. And Bruce Hornsby we had for October.
What?
And because of COVID, he had to make up a show that got canceled, and that bumped us. So we're pushing for spring to have Bruce there. But yeah, we're going big, man. We're going big.
For those of you who don't know who Bruce Hornsby is, Tupac sampled his song.
Yeah.
He wrote a song called Mandolin Rain. Go listen to that on Spotify right now.
Yeah. It's good stuff. So yeah, we're just we want to be awesome. It's just what we want to be, a good place to a good employer and a great place to work. We want to be a great asset to the community and give back so much. That's the biggest reward. So we're just eager to give back. We want to make smoking good wine. We want to grow awesome grapes and turn agriculture back on to, in this part of our Georgia, and and any other awesome ideas you guys have, please.
I love it. No, I'm thinking of like client events, things we could set up there would be really cool. Well, so here's the deal, guys. We've been talking to Sean Wilborn with Cloudland Wines, and Sean, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Pleasure, man.
So anybody out there that's listening that might like music, might like wine, might just like a good experience, I think we got something for you.
Yeah.
All right, I'm Bo Henderson here with Dr. Bill Lampton, Carl Lipa. And again, we've been talking about Cloudland Wines with Sean Wilborn. We'll see you next week, same time, same place, right here on North Georgia Business Radio X.
You've been listening to North Georgia Business Radio X with Bo Henderson. What local business do you know that should be highlighted on our program? Let us know. Just search North Georgia Business Radio X on Facebook or contact Bo at businessradiox.com. Thanks for listening. See you next time. And remember to support our local businesses.